Sandhan. All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
Hello friends, welcome to Sandhan series of lectures. Today we have with us an eminent person, Mr. Sanjay Bhaiji Mekwan from Bhikhabai Patel Arts College, and today the topic that we have taken is Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children, and he will make us familiar with the literary output of Salman Rushdie and make us familiar with the prestigious awards that the works have received. So without beating about the bush, I would straightforward hand it over to Mekwan sir. Please, over to Mekwan sir.
Hello friends, myself Sanjay Kumar J. Mekwan, working as a lecturer in Sri Bhikhabai Patel Arts College. I am extremely pleased to offer my comments and my introduction on the particular text, Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children. Salman Rushdie, a Bombay-born, London-based novelist, may be regarded as a king of controversies. Through the art of fiction writing, he has established himself in the literary world. He has earned a widespread recognition both in India and abroad. He is known as a literary jewels like Raja Rao, Mulk Raj Anand, R.K. Narayan, Milan Kundra, V.S. Naipaul and many others. He can be considered as one of the leading and recognized novelists of the world. He is a political novelist and prefers to write mostly on political issues of subcontinent. His recent novels record almost all the major political events of India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. I can say that Rushdie is a talented and gifted writer. He has written number of books and got prestigious internationally reputed awards too for the literary contribution. The Booker Prize, the James Tate Black Memorial Prize, the English-speaking Union Territory Prize, Austrian Straight Prize for Literary Production, French Prix Prize, Wade-Bridge Prize, etc. are the various awards that were won by Mr. Rushdie. As far as his literary contribution is concerned, I can say that Grimus was his first novel and it was published in the year 1979. It is followed by his most famous novel, Midnight Children. The novel Shame in 1983, The Shaitanic Verses in 1988. This particular novel, however, has given him utmost publicity because of Islamic controversy, which forced him to live in fugitives under heavy security of British police for a long time. Since Iran's spiritual leader, late Ayatollah Khomeini, gave a call for his assassination, he has to live such a life. Harun and the Sea of Stories, published in the year 1889-90. The Moon's Last Sigh in 1995. The Ground Beneath Her Feet in the year 2000 and The Fury, I can say it is an autobiographical novel which was published in the year 2001. Rushdie's masterpiece is Midnight Children, and that has urged immense popularity all over the globe. The most fascinating feature of his personality that though Mr. Rushdie settled in UK is that he is a pure Indian both in thought and in spirit, despite his preference over English over his mother tongue, that is Urdu, for the expression of his creative thoughts. The subject matter of Rushdie's novel is fairly very wide. It is neither stereotyped nor predictable. If R.K. Narayan is the novelist of a social man or an individual man, if Mulk Raj Anand is the novelist of social man, then I can say Rushdie is the novelist of India, Indianness and everything that occurred in India. Rushdie minutely observes the society and presents most realistic pictures charged with gentle irony and satire. I can say that he has never involved any sort of humorical elements in his novels. His approach to subject matter is highly marked with intellectual inspiration. His artistic excellence lies in authentic exploration of facts in India in absolutely uninvolved manner. The New York Times rightly acclaimed that the literary map of India is about to be redrawn. Midnight Children sounds like a continent finding its voice. The novel Midnight Children is fairly a political novel, presenting the most realistic pictures of many events of Indian political scenario. He presents political happenings in such a lively manner that it appears as if the political history of Indian subcontinent has been redrawn. It's a novel of struggle for independence, the partition of India and post-independent days. The Holocaust of the partition of India has been presented in such a realistic manner in this novel, like we can say that Khushwant Singh's A Train to Pakistan. Rushdie has fully realized the importance of historical facts in the fictional world. In Midnight Children, Rushdie's chief aim was to relate private lives to public events and to explore the limits of individuality in a country as big, as popular, and as culturally wide as India. In the novel, in Satanic Verses also, historical facts about Islamic culture is dealt with the help of individual character. As a novelist, he is mainly involved in the most crucial events of the days in the United India. He is closely concerned with the politics of Indian subcontinent and its dealings. The novel Midnight Children covers the experiences of 3 generations of a Sinai family living in Srinagar, Amritsar, Agra, and Bombay, and finally migrating to Karachi. Salim Sinai is the main character and he is the narrator of the events, and he highlights the connection between public affairs and private lives of Indian society. The novel is virtually highlighting all the major events of the 20th century Indian history, that is the Jallianwala Bagh tragedy, Quit India movement, struggle for independence, etc. There is the truthful picture of typical Indian divisions, chaos and illusion, communal tension, religious fanaticism, besides traditional values and modernizing efforts. Now I hand over the session to my colleague Sri Jagdish Bhai V. Solanki, and he is going to deliver his speech on Salman Rushdie's famous novel Midnight Children. Thank you.
Hello friends, now I hope you are familiar with the literary output of Salman Rushdie. You know, a novel is just like a cabbage. If you remove the upper layer, another layer appears. If you remove the second layer, third layer appears. If you remove the third one, another layer appears. It shows that a novel is just like a cabbage loaded with multiplicity of the meanings. So it is very difficult to come to the conclusion that what actually the fiction is about, but we can imagine, we can analyze that picture from one of the perspectives. So today my speech is quite limited, but I will be especially focusing on how Salman Rushdie tries to amalgamate the history of post-independent era and the history of free India with the help of this fiction, right? So Midnight Children is commonly read as an allegory of nation, which is in which Salman Rushdie has given an imaginative picture of post-independence, India or post-independence. So, when we look at the plot of the novel, we feel that the events and incidents which have taken place into the life of the protagonist, Salim Sinai, have a close resemblance with the events and affairs which have taken place in the life of free India. So that is, it is amalgamated in such a way, the events have been blended together or I should say rather welded together in such a beautiful way that the unfolding of the two will give us a truthful picture. So the first thing is that the history of post-independence India, subcontinent of India, is presented in an allegorical fashion. So before we try to analyze Midnight Children as an allegory of nation, it is our pious responsibility to have a comprehensive understanding of what actually an allegory is. Right? Let us see. Slide please. Midnight Children, we are going to evaluate this particular fiction as an allegory. Now, what is an allegory actually? An allegory is a narrative. It can be either in prose or in verse, wherein the agents and the actions and sometimes the settings, all of them, they constitute a single plot or a single story. But let me tell you, this story operates at two levels. At literal level, the story talks about the fictional story, and at implied level, it must be dealing with the history of the nation or the political events of the nation. So this fiction can be evaluated as the history of national allegory. So there are many points with the help of which we can compare these two fictions together, two things together. First, we will see the fiction opens with the speech of the narrator, that is Salim Sinai. Now, Salim Sinai, he gives us in most detail about his birth and the exact time and date. He says that he was born, the opening three lines of the novel sets the tone of the fiction. Once upon a time, I was born in Dr. Nadikal's hospital, India's arrival at its independence. So this is the day and date with which the readers are familiarized. But let me tell you that this is the date, 15th August 1947. Here in the fiction, Salim Sinai takes birth, but here in real life we see that baby India takes birth. So Salim's birth is coincidentally connected with the life of the free India. So we can visualize that those whatever events which have taken place in the life of Salim Sinai may have some resemblance with the events which had happened in the history of India. So 1001 children, they were born on the midnight of 15th August 1947. All of them, they have been gifted with a magic power, and Salim Sinai is one of them. Right? So free India's birth and Salim Sinai's birth, they are connected together, and when we unfold this story, we realize that this is the speaking picture of post-independence India. Another point of comparison is that since the baby is immature, in the age of infancy, the baby cannot walk properly, baby cannot talk properly, and baby needs somebody's help to walk. In the same way, baby India also has been facing many problems during the time of independence. As we are aware of the history, we can see that India has been facing the problems like division on the linguistic basis, partition of India and Pakistan, freedom of Bangladesh, and many freedom fighting movements, and so on. So these are the problems which have been faced by India during those days. So we can say Salim as a baby also totters, cannot walk properly. So he has been also facing such problems. Another point of comparison is that there is a sort of ambiguity regarding the parental background of Salim Sinai. If we look into the plot of the fiction, we will find that Salim Sinai takes birth in the house of a poor family, but because of the mischief played by one of the nurses, two babies take birth on the same day, date, time, and in the same place. One is Shiv and another is Salim. But both of them, they were switched over, exchanged. Their name tags were changed. So what happens? Salim Sinai goes to the house of a Muslim family and receives the name Salim Sinai, and in vice versa, you can say. So one important point of discussion is that there is an ambiguity regarding the parental background of Salim Sinai. So we can also say that if we imagine Salim Sinai as India as a whole, then there is also an ambiguity on the parental background of India, because some say that Nehru was the father of free India. At the same time, some say that Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who demanded Pakistan separately, was also considered to be the father of free India. So this is a sort of ambiguity that we find. The third important thing is that there is some sort of similarity between Adam Aziz and Jawaharlal Nehru. Adam Aziz plays the role of Salim Sinai's grandfather. He is a Kashmiri man who hails from Kashmir, who has been educated in Germany, I should say one of the European countries. He is basically a doctor who treats one of the patients in Kashmir. Another important thing is that he has the scientific temperament.